Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has revealed plans by the Chinese government to venture into Ghana's cotton sector to help revamp the industry. Since the mid-80s, the cotton industry has seen a nosedive. The situation is attributed to several factors, including lack of the required capital to obtain inputs for farmers. Kingsley Nyako is Deputy Minister of Agriculture in charge of perennial crops.
Crop is something that is dear to the heart of the Akufo-Addo government, and MOFA is doing everything possible. Recently, my minister was in China to look for investors to come and see how we can revive the whole sector industry. I think we've gotten some proposal which we are working on it. One of the interested investors came round and they took them. We have to take them round to see where it's, the crop is being grown. That is up north. Look at the existing processing plant, whether there are some or they have to. One of the problems that since 85, we did not have, we should have had, as you speak now, we don't even produce the cotton seed here. We go to either Burkina Faso or Mali to buy the seeds. And that one too is quite expensive. But if you have people or we have organizations, seed producers locally producing it, it makes it so easier even for the farmers to get seeds to produce.
Now, young CEOs and entrepreneurs have been urged to be more ethical in their business and also prioritize technology to be able to build companies that transcend generations. Minister for Business Development Mohammed Awal engaged some business leaders at the Ghana Business Forum held in Accra this morning. He spoke with Charles Aite in an interview at the sidelines of the engagement.
We need the government to focus a lot on the private sector. Whilst government tries to give the policy direction, we need the private sector to take the lead in building and sustaining businesses. So I want to commend the organizers for this initiative. I think it's in order and it's in line with government development priorities.
In your submission, you talked about the concern that most of these businesses do not, hit the generational line. Most of them start 5 years later, they just collapse and everything. Is there a particular initiative or innovative idea from government to ensure that businesses are sustained?
You're right. There are several levels that government is looking at. I think one of the critical challenges we have is the macroeconomic environment. If you don't have stable electricity and you spend so much money buying generators and fuel, it can collapse your business. So that's why government, since we came to power nearly 2 years ago, have tried to stabilize the macroeconomic environment. Inflation has reduced drastically from 15.3% to a single digit 9.9 now. Interest rate, though still high, has come down from about 40% to 28%. We're also formalizing the economy, making sure that we have digital address system for business to do location. And like I said there, we want to improve the banking environment. If the banks are weak with poor corporate governance institutions, we cannot serve the private sector. So we want to make the private sector the heart of government business. We also introduced what I call the entrepreneurship bag. We want Ghanaians to feel and know that there's an ecosystem that supports you. Bring the ideas, bring the businesses, go and provide your business services and the funding.
Meanwhile, over 100 businesses will be vying for top honors at the maiden edition of the Ghana Business Awards, which take place tonight at the Kempinski Hotel here in Accra. Now, keeping of backyard farms has evolved over the years to give meaning to the concept of Operation Feed Yourself. The practice is gradually gaining back prominence as some women are developing portions of land available around their homes for farming purposes. Joy Business's Alberta Bisiu has been observing how the practice has helped women enhance food supply. She engaged some members of a development group at Nima in Accra who are making some monies and serving their families from the backyard farms.
Today I'm here in Nima, a very popular Zongo community in Accra. Today we are here to find how some women are still following their passion for agriculture despite the unavailability of land in this church community. Marian Salifu is going about her morning duties, attending to her backyard garden. She has been growing vegetables for the past 2 years around her residence in Nema and has cultivated passion fruit, kontomire, tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables. Marian, as well as some 250 other women, belong to the Mothers Club in Development. They were introduced to backyard farming practice by the German Development Association, GIZ, in 2016.
GIZ almost started saying registration.
GIZ registered about 250 women in Nema. After training these women, they provided us with the necessary things we needed, like black soil and seedlings for the plants.
Mariam benefits a lot from these crops. Besides feeding her family, she is able to make some money by selling some of the products.
I feed on the crops together with my family. Through this, I sometimes save 5 or 10 cedis instead of spending it at the market. I also give some of the vegetables to friends.
In some parts of the world like Australia, backyard farming is seen as a major source of income for farmers. Here, some crops are grown even during out-of-season periods. The Deputy Minister of Agric in charge of perennial crops, Kingsley Nyako, believes backyard garden could serve as a good source of food to many Ghanaian homes.
We have new technology that you can use to grow maybe tomato, pepper, onion, those things that you can use. So it's there, and that one is something that government will encourage everybody to go into it. As for the seed, the ministry always have in abundance. You need to buy, it's not for free, but government have subsidized it just to encourage people to have maybe all the input without any difficulty, to be able to also support whatever farming activity that they are doing.
He added, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has a variety of high-yielding seeds which interested farmers can purchase to start their own backyard farms.
Government will give you subsidy on fertilizer and seeds. That is, government has a flagship program that it has introduced. The purpose or the aim of that planting for food, that flagship program, is to create job and also increase production.
Marian is hoping to take her garden business to the next level, where she hopes to extend into other forms of businesses. So this is a passion fruit plant. As you can see, it has taken almost the entire roof of this house. This and many other crops are what some women in Nema are doing. Apart from serving as a food for them or income, this has also widened their knowledge about health benefits of these crops. Probably this could be a solution to Ghana's land challenges in the agricultural sector. Alberta Bisiu reporting for Joy Business.
Stakeholders of Ghana's education sector have been advised to define outcomes they seek to achieve to help develop the educational system. Thus, according to the founding head of the Biomedical Engineering Department at the University of Ghana, Dr. Elsie Efa Kaufman, will provide a sense of direction towards achieving the goal. Taking her turn on Thought Leadership Show, The Executive Lounge, with Insurado, Dr. Kaufman urged interested parties to commit themselves to developing the educational sector.
It's a shared responsibility. The first step is for stakeholders, all of us, to get together and define what outcomes we want. That's the first step. Because if you don't know where you're going or what you're trying to achieve, anything goes. Okay, so if I come to this level of education, let's say secondary education or even university education, what outcomes are we trying to achieve? What are our metrics? How do we measure that we have actually achieved those outcomes or not? How do we assess the people we put in charge of making sure that these things happen? And what accountability do they have? It's all of us. So a stakeholder, okay, and I can see that it will happen eventually, because some of the private universities and private schools are now being held accountable more, because if somebody is paying to get a certain outcome out of their education and you are not delivering it, why would they continue to pay you?
That's right.
When students start taking us to court for not giving them the skills and the knowledge they need, we'll start sitting up. Okay, so it's all of us. It's all of us. It's not one person's responsibility. And then we need to decide that we are committed to delivering.
And that's all in business tonight. Many thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.